From an on-duty cop taking a break from a murder investigation to sexually abuse a woman to this ex-sergeant who was arrested twice for trying to have sexual relations with minors, here are 4 cases where perverted cops realized they'd been caught.
He tells multiple 12-year-old girls, "Do you have any younger friends who are interested in older men? I'll give you money to hook me up with them. The younger they are, the better."
First case, Jaylen Fleer.
I use toys. It's awkward, but yeah, I use toys on my...
On the 30th of April, 2020, officers from the San Diego County Sheriff's Office pulled one of their own into the interrogation room. According to a Crime Stopper tip submitted in early April 2020, San Diego Sheriff's Deputy Jaylen Fleer had been sexually abusing minors and making them stay quiet by leveraging his position as a law enforcement officer. On the surface, Jaylen looked like a model citizen. He was a loving husband with a baby on the way and had worked as a police officer for more than 5 years. Officers would later find, however, that Jaylen's charming persona was just a disguise, and the real him was far more horrifying than they could ever imagine.
Kale here. We're actually doing an investigation on some allegations that we have to obviously look into. You're a law enforcement officer, so you know that we look into everything equally. I want to make sure, though, before we get started, that you're aware that this is a voluntary interview, and so I just want to make sure that you're aware of all of those things. And so I'm going to just have you, and this is one of those forms that they give everybody, so it doesn't really fit. So if I just happen to cross out as I'm going along,
Okay.
sorry about that. So it says, "Thank you for coming voluntarily to," and then we'll go ahead and just put the admin office.
Okay.
All right. Oh, and of course, you know about body worn. So yeah, this is my body worn. Of course, it audio and video records everything, and there's also an audio recorder here just in case.
Okay.
Office at Central Jail. To share your side of the story with us, of course, in regards to the report that we're investigating.
Okay.
You're not under arrest, and you are not being detained.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
I'll have you go ahead and write it in. And you can initial or say yes.
Just
Whichever.
initial.
Yeah. And if you would, just go ahead and read the next one.
At the moment, officers wanted Jaylen to feel calm and relaxed, so he would cooperate with them and willingly hand over as much information as possible. As you can see, at the start of the interview, Jaylen wasn't aware of the details of the allegations against him. Seeing his colleagues conduct an interview, which he thought was just a formality, Jaylen started revealing details about his personal life. These same details, however, would come back later to haunt him.
All right, so just for record's sake, I'm going to go ahead and read what you did initial. So you understand that you're not under arrest and you are not being detained. You understand that you're free to leave at any time. There will not be any locked doors keeping you from leaving. As you notice, that one doesn't have a lock behind you.
Yeah.
You can choose what questions you want to answer, and you can choose to leave or let us know, and we will assist you with the exit. Although you're probably going to be the one assisting me. Of course, I've done my research and investigations and everything, so I've learned a little bit about you, but I'd like to learn a little bit more, if that's okay. I found that you went to Santana High School?
I did, yes.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about your upbringing?
Yeah, so grew up Santana High School, played sports, football, baseball. Went to Grossmont College for a little bit, played baseball there. I got a job here. Worked at Dick's Sporting Goods before this, so this is my second job. Started working with this department for coming up on 5 years now.
So baseball seemed pretty important to you back in high
baseball's
school.
fun,
What position?
pitcher.
Cool. How's your arm holding up?
I mean, soreness every once in a while, but I haven't thrown for a while. So.
Yeah, no, it still kills me. I played softball.
Okay, nice.
So I was, third, short, center, and pitcher.
You're in San Diego?
Yeah.
The questions that the interviewer is asking might seem random at first, but that's by design. By talking about her softball career, the interviewer is doing 2 things. First, she's making Jaylen comfortable. And as you can probably see by noticing Jaylen's relaxed body posture, this is working. The second and far more important reason is that she needs Jaylen to confess that baseball is a big part of his life. This might seem weird right now, but keep watching, and you'll find out just why this question was so important.
How about video games, computers, anything like that? Do you ever...
Yeah, I'll play video games every once in a while and stuff like that. But not too often. Wife's not big on video games.
Cool. And I hear your schedule recently changed. How do you feel about the schedule
it's long.
change?
Yeah. 7, 12 and a half in a row. kills you. 7 off is nice, but it flies by, so.
Yeah, and then those 7 drag
Yeah.
once you're here. So at least you're on your last day today, right? We communicated with some of the people who were like, hey, when does he work? Thank you for meeting with us here.
Yeah.
We obviously, given COVID, there's not a lot of places you can meet up with people right now. That's one, comfortable, gives us enough space, and makes you feel like that you're not at your home or randomly out in the middle of nowhere. So I know RPD is like refusing to let anybody in the doors, so I can understand. How about social media? Are you active on social media at all?
Facebook and Instagram. Had Snapchat back in the day, got rid of that with my wife. I got caught.
Jaylen is lying. In fact, even right now, he has Snapchat installed on his phone, and lying with some added details is how he plans to get out of this. Jaylen is slowly starting to realize what this investigation is about, and he's trying every trick in the book to try and escape responsibility.
It was with another recruit in the academy, but...
Okay. So you're communicating with another recruit?
I was back in, I stopped, everything got cut off, got rid of, I didn't delete the Snapchat, I just delete the app, so
okay.
I haven't used it for like, a year and a half now.
Just because I like to jot down everybody's social media when I can. What's your Facebook login, like your username?
Just like Jaylen Fleer.
It's your name?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then you said Instagram?
Instagram, yeah.
Okay. What's your Instagram username? And then you said you got rid of Snapchat, but when you did have it, what was it?
Just Jaylen Fleer.
Okay. So the one that you had there, has that account since been deleted, or just deactivated?
That's just delete the app. I think it's still there.
Okay. And I know when it comes to Facebook, you connect it to an email address. Do you know what email address is connected to it? And then your Instagram account, what, same email?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And I know sometimes with Snapchat, they'll have you either sign up with a phone number or an email.
I believe it's my phone number.
Jaylen's Snapchat is a big part of this investigation, and it's where Jaylen communicated with most of the minors.
Look at the picture and just tell me if you've seen this picture before. Oh, I have like 15 million things here. Okay. Whoop. So this picture right here.
Yeah, that's definitely me, the gross one.
Okay, so this picture right here, how old were you when it was taken?
20.
20? Okay. Have you ever used this picture on any social media site?
I think it was Snapchat back in the day, yeah.
Okay. All right. Have you ever shared this picture with anybody on Snapchat?
Yeah, probably with my wife, to be honest. Obviously I talked to other girls back in the day too, but I can't remember.
Okay. If you had to guesstimate how many times you may have shared the photo, how many times?
That one, maybe just a couple times, once or twice.
Okay, so definitely to your wife.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've used that photo for your wife, and you were about 20 years old in the photo. You did share it on Snapchat, and then maybe some other girls you were talking to?
Yeah, this was a long time ago, so I don't really remember who it was.
Okay. Have you ever posted it as like your profile photo, or
no, that one,
ever posted it on Instagram? Oh, I forgot to ask you, are your accounts, is your Instagram and your Facebook, are they private?
They are.
Okay. Allegations about you communicating with a younger female on Snapchat.
Okay.
Have you ever communicated with any females that we've already recognized that yes you have with your recruit from the past? Is there anyone else you've communicated with on Snapchat?
Back then, no, just close friends and coworkers and stuff like that.
Notice how the interviewer is bringing up details that Jaylen himself just confirmed nonchalantly a few minutes ago. These details might have looked minor back then, but in hindsight, Jaylen probably regrets telling the interviewer so much about his personal life.
Phone number and email might be linked to a different Snapchat account?
Another one? No, I never had another one, just the Jaylen Fleer one.
Okay, so that phone number and email wouldn't be attached to any other account? Okay. All right. And your schedule. I know that you work every 7 days on and 7 days off. What is your wife's schedule like?
She's every Friday, Saturday off on day shift, so typical 9 to 5.
Okay, so she works 9 to 5 and you work Like the complete opposite schedule?
Depends. Every 3 months we rotate days and nights.
Okay. And how long have you been on nights now?
Nights now, probably a little over a month now, a month and a half.
Okay. All right.
Can I ask, is this something I should have lawyers on?
If you think you need a lawyer, chances are you need a lawyer. Jaylen just gave up every detail that incriminates him, and the police now have enough to take him away.
And I'll go over the behavior with you. You know, we're investigating allegations that were made that you were communicating with a younger female on Snapchat, and potentially some material might have been shared.
Okay.
Some photos, some images, stuff like that. So we, of course, want to be able to hear what happened from your side, if that in fact did occur, or if it didn't occur, we want to obviously
Everyone that I
determine
talked to, was about my age, I remember.
Okay. You know, obviously the other parties involved and kind of gotten some of the information. And so the reason why this particular photo was kind of brought up is because this photo was sent to this female, which is why I wonder if this photo would be in anyone else's hands.
I mean, for someone being younger, no, it wasn't anyone I sent younger.
So this photo was sent within the last 3 weeks. Have you sent this
No,
photo?
definitely not. It wasn't me.
Not to.
What information was shared? What they know?
We know that you're a baseball player.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people know that.
Yeah. So that information was kind of shared.
Okay.
Your work schedule.
It's been 5 years now I've worked here.
Specifically the transition to 7 days on, 7 days off.
Really? I haven't shared anything like that recently. I couldn't tell you who that would be.
By now, the officers had more than enough information for an arrest. But with this one final question, Jaylen sealed the deal on his prison sentence.
So let's take it back a little bit. You said you played football in high school, right? What position did you play?
I was a defensive end.
Defensive end. Did you have the same jersey the whole time you played?
My last 2 years were, A2, and then first 2 years changed up.
And what year did you graduate?
2011.
Okay. So, I know as an athlete, sometimes when I would do my usernames and stuff, I would kind of use a combination of my things that I know about myself, right? Mm-hmm. So that way I wouldn't forget it. So this particular picture came from an account with this username, right? J178211.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I recognize that your jersey name in college was 17.
Yes, it was.
And then high school was 82, and it was 11. In 2011.
I never had 11.
No, as far as you graduated in 2011.
I did, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it goes by Jay, and it is a Snapchat account that has some links to you.
Okay.
Okay. Jay, I'll be very honest. I want to know the truth.
Yeah, no, I never even heard of that account.
Okay. Have you ever shared any images of your with anyone?
Yeah.
Okay. And how many times would you say you've done that?
A lot.
Can you, the Crime Stopper that we're investigating and the Snapchat account, and of course your phone number and everything in connection with it, and some of the combinations of numbers and everything there, you can understand why obviously we have a growing concern.
It's weird.
And of course your picture's attached to it,
yeah.
right? Which is even more like.
At the end of the interviewer revealed that they had a search warrant for Jaylen's house, car, and even DNA samples.
By a judge.
Okay.
The warrant does allow us to grab some DNA swabs from you.
Okay.
As well as any mobile devices that might be in your possession or potentially in your locker. Do you have your personal phone with you here?
I do have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it inside your locker?
It's on my person right now.
Okay. So if you want to go ahead and hand it to us, we definitely don't need to go in and grab it from you.
Okay.
But the search warrant does require that we take it from you.
Okay.
Okay. Additionally, it does allow us to have access to your vehicle.
Okay.
Is your vehicle parked here?
It's parked a few blocks away.
Okay. Do you remember exactly where you?
It's over across from Cat's.
You tell us multiple 12-year-old girls. Do you have any younger friends who are interested in older men. I'll give you money to hook me up with them. The younger they are, the better.
Jaylen was sentenced to 12 years in prison and eventually pleaded guilty to 20 felony and misdemeanor charges involving acts with an underage girl. In total, prosecutors found more than 40 minors aged between 12 and 16 who alleged that Jaylen had coerced them to perform sexual acts with him. Allegedly, Jaylen had also given money to the minors and asked them to bring their friends, too. Second case, D'Angelo Reyes.
You're is that unprofessional of me? I don't know. I'm sorry, but I'm just like, damn.
On the 17th of April, 2022, a woman was walking her dog in Tulsa County when she was stopped by Officer D'Angelo Reyes of the Tulsa County Police Department. Still on duty and in full uniform, Officer Reyes began flirting with the woman and asked her name after calling her. Officer Reyes later asked the woman where he could find her that night and if she had a room.
You just chilling tonight? Okay. If I'm wandering around, where should I wander?
Probably somewhere around the Studio Star.
At the Studio Star. Okay.
Most people call me Red.
Red? You got a room? Okay.
It's me and my dog Felony.
Oh, really? Okay.
At this point, Officer Reyes turned off his body cam and allegedly asked the woman for her number. Later that night, Officer Reyes looked up the woman on the Tulsa police system and, after finding out that she had been arrested in the past, started threatening her. Investigators claim that Officer Reyes told the woman that he had the power to send her back to jail and he wanted to meet her. The victim had alleged that after meeting up with her, Officer Reyes raped her.
That was investigated, and this officer was questioned about it, first denying it.
Officer Reyes initially denied any sexual involvement with the woman. However, he later admitted to performing acts while on duty. During this investigation, officials uncovered multiple other instances of Officer Reyes utilizing his position as a police officer to exploit vulnerable citizens in a sexual manner. He was subsequently arrested and then rearrested on charges of first-degree rape and forced sodomy after additional victims came to light. Case 3, Todd Baraco.
Come on, just come on back in.
On the 17th of March, 2022 officers from the Genesee County Sheriff's Ghost Task Force teamed up with Chris Hansen to catch 44-year-old Todd Baraco. Todd, a part-time police officer working for the Vassar Police Department, had been in contact with a decoy who he thought was a 15-year-old kid and had come over with the intent to perform disgusting, intimate acts with the minor.
What's up? How are you? Good. Sit there. I gotta go upstairs. I gotta bake kind of. Hey, what's the cook? Yeah. Are you sure? Oh, shut your door. No.
Come on. What are you talking about? Turn around. All right, come on. Just come on back in.
Okay. No. Camera. Camera off. Relax.
All right, we're secure.
Hey, John.
Oh, camera's off. Oh, camera's off. Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna sit down.
John.
Todd was in contact with a decoy and had planned out in detail what intimate acts he was going to perform with him, even after acknowledging that he was 15. When confronted by the police, Todd denied that he had planned to do anything and that he was just there to talk. What he wasn't expecting, however, was for Chris to pull out his chat transcripts.
John, you came over here, John, and when you did that,
Nope. There's cameras right there.
I know there's cameras everywhere, John. John, no, you can't. You don't. You're not in charge here, John. That's the problem.
Yeah, I came to be here, so it's perfectly legal.
No, you didn't. There was a discussion online about being 15, John. The cameras aren't going to get turned off, so that's not on the table.
No,
It's not on the table.
Don't get up, please.
Well, you don't have to authorize it because we're here covering the commission of an alleged felony.
No.
Yeah. So I've seen the transcripts. The person you were here to meet said they're 15. You acknowledged that.
No, I did not.
Yeah, you did.
No, I did not.
John, I have seen the transcripts.
Okay,
Just,
do whatever you want.
okay, it's not what I think. You ask if you smell good. Dustin tells you he's 15. You talk about there's a discussion about you say I typically don't use if that's okay. What were you getting at?
Things were going bad for Todd, but they were about to get even worse. While patting down Todd during a body search, cops were horrified to see the disgusting things he had brought with him.
He clearly said he was 15. And you acknowledge that and you infer that that might be too young. There's talk about where his parents are, if he's home alone. And what is this, John? Explain this. Help me to understand what you were thinking here. Okay, no, you got to sit down. Yeah, you do. Well, you don't have a choice here, John.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't, actually. No, you don't. You do not.
An attorney.
All right? There's something you need to know.
Okay.
I'm Chris Hansen,
I don't know who that is.
and I'm a journalist,
Okay.
television journalist, and I do stories on predators, alleged predators, trying to have with minors. That's what you were trying to do today.
No,
Okay, so how do you explain your way out of it, John?
I'm not talking.
What's your last name?
I'm not talking.
You have nothing more to say?
No.
Is there anything you want people to know?
No.
All right, well, there's some guys
I'm
here.
hello.
But that's not true, John.
Okay.
What do you do for a living?
None of your business.
Well, it is actually, but if you have nothing further to say, then these guys would like to talk to you. All right? Anything else?
Nope.
You're sure?
Yep.
All right.
3 handcuffs and 3 licensed handguns were recovered from his vehicle. Todd was originally charged with accosting children for immoral purposes and communicating with others on the internet to commit a crime, both felonies. Police later discovered over 230,000 images and 9,200 videos of child on Todd's phone. Just before his sentencing, the sheriff's office announced 22 new charges against Baraco in February. They include 11 charges for possession of child and 11 counts of using a computer to commit a crime.
What's up? There. I gotta go upstairs.
Todd took a plea deal to avoid jail time and was charged with 1 count of using a computer to commit a crime, while all other charges were dropped. He was sentenced to 2 years of probation and non-public registration as an offender. Case 4, Stephen Cheson. On the 17th of September of 2013, an anonymous woman reported that she had seen a man inside his truck while she was at an ATM on Newburyport's Water Street. According to the woman, after she spotted the man continued what he was doing and then drove off shortly after. When the woman came to report this at the police station, she saw the same truck parked outside. This truck belonged to then Newburyport Police Sergeant Stephen Cheson. The woman had a partial license plate and even recognized Sergeant Stephen Cheson as the man who was in the truck that day. Soon after a report was made, Sergeant Stephen ended up changing his license plates. The interrogation begins by asking Sergeant Stephen where he was on the day of the incident.
The 17th, which is the date that we've all been talking about.
Yeah,
Were you at the police station that morning?
I was.
How long?
I think I left here around I came here at 10. Me and Chucky had a meeting with Tony King and Steve Sforza in the morning. I came here after that around 10 o'clock. I left here around a little bit before 11.
Is that the only time you were in the station that day? Or if you can
I
remember?
believe so, yeah.
And you remember what you were wearing that day?
I was wearing white cargo pants and a red shirt similar to this. I don't know what my footwear was. I assume sneakers.
And you operate the truck, the rust-colored truck,
Yeah, that is my vehicle.
and it's got it had the registration 359
BPH.
Paul Henry.
Yes.
Did you have the truck that day?
Yes.
Were you on Water Street or Federal Street or any of these streets near there that day?
No, I wasn't.
Not near any of them.
No. Well, I was probably on Water Street maybe, but actually no, it still would have been Market Square if I went up state. So no,
So you never went down that way at all?
never.
For any reasons that day?
Well, no, not for any
Entire
reason.
day, when you left here, where'd you go?
I went to the North End Boat Club, checked on my boat, and then I went home.
Was there anybody at home that would?
Yeah, my wife.
At this point, the detective began questioning Sergeant Stephen about why he had changed his license plates and what he was trying to hide. It was clear that Stephen wasn't going to come clean and was prepared to do just about anything just to get out of this. At one point, he even started claiming that he thought that the victim was probably a suspect trying to frame him.
And you've changed the registration of your truck.
I have.
Why did you do that?
Because a woman came in here and said that was the truck who she saw somebody and if somebody was doing that with a truck similar to mine, with a plate similar to mine, I talked to Greg Whitney and he suggested I change my plate, and so I did.
Do you think it's kind of like a drastic move?
Not really. It's free. It didn't cost me any money. It was just she keeps on seeing that plate here and keeps on thinking it's me. I was just trying to, like I said, I didn't run out and change the plate. I know how it looks to some people, but when she came into the station, my place of work, I figured try to, just stop her from seeing that truck here. I didn't want attention drawn to me or the PD.
Okay. So you got red plates, new red plates.
Right.
Are they both on the truck or just one?
Just one right now.
Was it two?
There was.
So you've taken one off again?
I have.
Why?
The bolts, it rattled. I have to get bolts that don't hit the back of it, so it'll tighten up.
Okay. Do you know the lady, or you've read in the reports then, who the person, who
Right.
the victim is? Do you know this person?
Never.
Have you ever met her?
No.
Any interaction with her?
Not that I know of. No. When I first thought about this, I was thinking maybe a drug suspect or something, but I don't know her. From a hole in the wall, pretty much.
So you didn't commit any acts on Water Street?
Absolutely not.
The evidence against Sergeant Stephen was all purely circumstantial, so why would he cut his hair and change his license plates if it was all just a misunderstanding? Things were starting to look suspicious, and even Sergeant Stephen had no answer to how the woman had described every single detail about him.
To me, or make me understand that would, then you're saying you didn't do it. I mean, she's describing, you've seen the report, she describes you to a T. The cargo pants, the dark curly hair.
I really don't think I have curly hair. I have dark hair. But no, I can't explain that away. I honestly can't.
And can you explain why a vehicle similar to yours shows up on the ATM cameras?
No. Probably the vehicle that was there. It's if there was somebody there in a vehicle like mine, it could have been that vehicle.
Do you know of any other trucks that look like yours with that plate number on it?
Not with that plate number, no. There is a truck around here with green plates, but it's different registration. Me and Josh saw it the other day in Salisbury. We were doing a drug thing.
Seeing Sergeant Stephen speechless with no explanation, the interviewer decided to ask him point blank if he wanted to confess. Things weren't looking good for Stephen, and according to the interviewer, if he wanted to confess, now was the time to do so.
Really bad.
I know.
And if you've got some situation going on, I suggest now's the time to say it, because from here, it's only going to get worse. If there's something going on that you want to talk about, that you want to move forward with, at this moment, this is the only time it's going to happen.
There's nothing I can think of. I wasn't there that day. I wasn't on Federal. I wasn't in the tannery. I wasn't there.
Okay.
With no evidence or witnesses to support any of his statements, Sergeant Stevens decided to volunteer his cell phone records. At first glance, it might look like Sergeant Stephen is just trying to prove his innocence. But as you'll see later, Sergeant Stephen was just bluffing, and after the detective asked him to come forward with the proof, he just started scrolling on his phone, trying to look busy.
I'll give you my cell phone records. And if they can show the tower where they're from, it'll show the timestamps on where I was when I received that. I was texting you that day about a rubber boat, right around the time of this. The earlier calls, I was here. I talked to Chris McDonald. I talked to an Ipswich police officer about a dive training. And then I'm back home when I'm on the phone there. I'm not sure what time you text me. I think it was around 11. And I still have them in my phone if you want to see them right now.
Yeah, whatever you got, that's.
What time did this allegedly happen? That wasn't, I don't think, in the report.
11:52. 11:52.
What's funny is the day before you texted me a picture of a car.
With all the evidence stacked against him, Sergeant Stephen had no excuses left. The detective laid out all the allegations made against him and how his actions had made him the prime suspect in the investigation. Seeing everything get out of hand so fast, Sergeant Stephen started getting agitated.
Here's the problem I'm having. I've got a lady who describes a guy that fits your description. The haircut.
Somewhat. I don't think the haircut does. I've never had curly hair, so. But.
Dark hair, wavy hair, wearing cargo pants, driving an orange burnt truck with the 3 initials to your plates.
Right.
That appears to be chewing tobacco. All right, it's got a lump right in the front of his chin, which you admittedly do.
With Dyson hairs, but I don't put it in the front of my chin. I put it on the side of my mouth. But
Okay.
splitting hairs. But
So I'm just looking for some way, given the circumstantial evidence that we have here, the next step.
Can she do a lineup? Can she do a?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure she can pick you out of the lineup.
Well, I'm hoping she wouldn't pick me out of a lineup. Can she see me and say, no, that's not him, or I don't see the person here?
She's not confident. So now we're back to all the circumstantial stuff. I've got a burnt colored truck parked in front of the bank. I've got your plate number, the last 3 numbers of a plate that's yours.
Yeah.
I've got you changing your plates.
Well, changing my plate.
Well, I'm just telling you what the facts are.
All right.
You've never come down to speak to me not once about this, never to say anything other than, like I was never there, anything.
I thought it went away. I thought this was, this is 6 weeks later, and,
If you thought it went away, why do you keep looking at the report?
just to see if anything's changed.
Why would you do that?
Just to see if, Gregory got anything back, any more, evidence or whatnot.
What would it matter if it wasn't you?
I'd like to find out who it was. I think Gregory would come to me, but,
As a last-ditch effort, Sergeant Stephen tried to make it look like he was being framed and started talking about how it was probably someone else, and maybe the police were looking at the wrong guy.
it's not me.
I'm just saying I want to put everything
I
on the
understand
table for options for you.
Was there anything done to look at the bank, to look at, maybe putting a camera out there, see if this person comes back? Anything done like that? Did anyone look into the partial plates? I don't know how to run that stuff. Find out the BPHs in Massachusetts, or the BHPs, or the HPBs. I'm not sure how sure she was on the plate, but officers do it all the time. We call in numbers, we transcribe certain numbers in the back. I'm hoping something like that will be done to try and help me out.
We've tried to do everything we can to put the best light on this. I've only known 2 of the trucks that look like yours, and the planes aren't even close to yours.
The detective explained to Sergeant Stephen that a formal investigation was being launched against him, and he would be put on administrative leave until everything was sorted out. With his career getting destroyed right in front of him, Sergeant Stephen started begging the detective to let him go.
We're gonna place you on leave.
Oh, please don't.
You're going on, I have no choice.
Please
I
don't.
have no
I'm
choice.
living paycheck to paycheck right now.
I have no, it's with pay.
Yeah, but still, I can't work details.
I know.
I'm on a detail right now. This will kill me. Is this going to go public?
Right now, you're on administrative leave until we finish this.
I'm begging you. Please don't do this to me.
Steve, I've talked to
Go through the
everybody.
investigation. I'm not going to interfere with the investigation. I've been here for 6 weeks.
I understand that. Well, some of this information has just come to us very recently, like since Friday. I've talked to the chief's attorney, I've talked to the district attorney's office, I've talked to the city's attorney. I don't have a choice in this. That I gotta put you out because of everything that we see at this point.
How
is
quickly?
compelling. I'm gonna make the phone calls as soon as we get done here. As soon as I get one, I'll have it done.
Can I take vacation time just so it doesn't look like I'm out there being...
Do you see where I'm coming from? I mean,
I see where you're coming from. I honestly do.
I did not want to come in here Monday morning and be dealing with this situation. I don't want to be looking at one of my officers as being a suspect in anything. But in fairness to you, in fairness to the organization, there's certain things that have to happen, and this is going to be one of them.
Sergeant Stephen later failed the polygraph test and confessed to his crimes after the prosecution granted him immunity. He was never charged or fired. He later resigned and got a job as Director of Compliance and Investigations for the Massachusetts Department of Public Health's Medical Marijuana Division. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.